Welcome to Crossing the Aisle on this wonderfully hot Monday. Hey, Lindsay, are you complaining about the camera angle again?
Yes, why can you not make us the same size? It
I
is
don't
not
know. I'm
difficult.
trying to learn.
Goodness
Yeah, this is what I get
gracious.
everybody. I get instructions on how to run the cameras, which I'm probably not good at. I'm learning to run the board. I'm just the dork that reads a lot. I'm not good at this kind of stuff.
I'm like, he's over there playing with him. I'm like, okay, did you make us look kind of the same size? And
It's
he
as
said,
it's as much as it'll zoom. I'm telling you. That's it.
give me the daggone thing.
Anyway, y'all, we're here on this Monday morning with a lot of news that came out over the weekend. If you're following the Jeffrey Epstein case, that is not going to be over anytime soon. Saturday night, President Trump put out a pretty extensive truth social. That's what it's called. Truth social is not a tweet. I keep calling it a tweet, but apparently it's a truth or a post. But I may just still call it a tweet because he's kind of known for all the tweets that he's said over the years. It had been a lot of them hilarious, by the way. The this one was directed it seemed like it was directed to MAGA about how they need to kind of back off the Epstein story and how that's just taken too much of the news cycles, too much of people's anger and whatnot. And I guess I'll back up for a moment. So last week we dealt with the DOJ and Pam Bondi saying, as well as Kash Patel saying, that the Epstein had killed himself, and there's no client list, and there's nothing nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the entire country, especially that's into this, especially MAGA, went wild about it because they've been led to believe for years that this is.
Hey everybody, how are y'all? I mean,
Well, you were fixing the camera, so I was just talking. That's right, Lindsay. I was trying to give you some time to
hope
fix my mess
everybody
up.
had a good weekend.
Yeah, everybody had a good weekend. Anyway, if you are not maybe just in the weeds of this as much as we were, but so that so then on Friday it came out to Dan Bongino got into a fight with Pam Bondi at the White House, and that occurred like Thursday or Friday, and that Bongino may actually be submitting his resignation this week. There's a lot of indications that he will. To respond to that, the president came out with a tweet that Lindsay sent to me Saturday while I was asleep, actually, and she was mad because I didn't look at it quick enough.
Okay, let me explain.
You go ahead and explain.
Let me explain to y'all what Sean does. So if he falls asleep, when he wakes up and looks at his phone, he doesn't read the text. He'll just open them and then I guess I don't know if he still has brain still half asleep or if it takes a minute for him to wake up. So I tried to explain to him, just because a text comes while you're asleep doesn't mean it's not important. It doesn't mean you don't have to read it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were sitting there at dinner Saturday night, and I was like, so I mean, I text you that the post that Trump made, and I really kind of expected you would have a response to it, and you didn't ever say anything about it. He's like, what post? I was like, the one I texted you earlier. And so he picked his phone up. He's like, oh, I didn't read it.
Which I'm really upset I didn't, because it was gold. It was and I'll just read some excerpts from it. It's he starts it out with, "What's going on with my boys," end quote, and in some cases gals, end quote. "They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job," in all caps. "We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and the selfish people," in quotes, "are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to the files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, and Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration, who conned the world with the Russia hoax, the 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more?" Question mark. That's just part of it. And he goes on and on in this, which Lindsay and I did. I think even though she's on the right and I'm on the left, we agreed that this wasn't Obama. Wouldn't you say that? Obama did not write the Epstein
I mean,
files.
if Obama was behind it, I think they would release it immediately.
Yeah, and I was saying last night, we do a live, y'all, every night, Sunday through Thursday with Clay, and it's kind of like a news show, current events, that kind of thing. And I kind of said this last night. If Obama wrote the file, or if Hillary did, why wouldn't they just put Trump's name in it and release it? If they did that,
to make it look like he was guilty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems like they would do that. It would be because they were really, I mean, if they wrote the file, why not put his name in it and just release it?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that there are some major okay, there's three things that are pretty dang obvious to me.
Yeah.
There is a list.
Okay.
It does exist. I mean, even in this truth post that he put out, it basically says there's a list. Number two, I believe there are pretty big players from both sides of the aisle whose names are on this list, which is the reason why it has prevented either side from releasing the list.
Mm-hmm.
Or number 3, there are some sort of Israel ties, and it would put us at a disadvantage when it comes to international warfare or whatever you want to call that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my strong area, but I can see if there were something like that, some kind of informant, it would be a reason they would choose to not release it. But I mean, I think that we can pretty much all gather that at least.
Yeah, no, I think those the 3 reasons you gave are right. I agree with those. Actually, I think you said this and Clay said this last night, and I didn't pick up on it originally, but it's such a good point. It said, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, et cetera, et cetera? Well, I mean, Clay, I think, said on air, he said, well, that means you're admitting that there are files and that these things do exist. So either they do or they don't. And you're saying now they're written by Obama, who completely neglected to add your name to it. Who would you think he would? I mean, if he was writing these fake files, then he would have done that. These fake files that do exist, but sometimes they don't. It's very confusing, I guess is what it is.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And, I think that Trump is going to realize sooner rather than later, this is not going to go away. These are the issues that with whatever you want to call them, the far right or the MAGA base, are very much consumed with and care about. And whether or not Trump actually campaigned on releasing this Epstein list, he certainly placed people in very powerful positions who basically made that promise that they would release this information. And not only that, but Pam Bondi did hold this whatever you want to call it, where she gave out to, whether you want to call them journalists or influencers or whatever it may be, whatever term you want to use, she gave out these notebooks to them. Clay likes to call them trapper keepers.
Trapper keepers.
Which, I mean,
if you're our age, you know what a trapper keeper is.
They came back. They made a resurgence in the last couple of years.
Kids old trapper, using that? Okay.
Yeah,
you were cool depending on how cool your trapper keeper was.
I had the coolest ones.
Of course you do.
Mine were like sparkly and shiny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, as you would imagine, I would have.
I'm sure.
But so she was bragging about making these folders and making these cover sheets to go in these folders. And this is phase 1, very much insinuating there would be a phase 2 and that the list would eventually be released. So, I think when these are the people that you've placed in these very, very powerful positions, Trump has to answer to this.
Yeah, I mean, when they're the ones that have these group of people that at least have been Trump adjacent for all these years have pushed this. Like this has been their thing. Patel, Bongino, God, I think Bongino, the way I'm gathering from him is that he believes it's there and like they're not letting it out. Like he looks upset, like visibly upset by it because he staked his whole reputation on this thing.
Yeah, it was even reported that he took a day off on Friday and was, maybe thinking about not even going back. And if it's been rumored that he said it's either me or Pam Bondi, either she goes or I do.
And you know what I've heard, Lindsay? I don't know if you read this though, but watching a lot of independent media and reading some sources about this, I heard Dan Bongino is actually a really good guy. Like people like him. He's a nice person. He's not an evil guy. For politics, that's a good thing that you meet somebody like that, and that he really legitimately like this is something that's been in his heart to go after. And he didn't need the money to take this position. He was already making millions as a podcaster, and that this is something that's really gotten to him because he believes it to be true. And so that they're not releasing this, but that's what I've heard in the back channel, kind of what is going on there with him. So I think you might see that this week. Somebody else made a really good point yesterday. I was watching ABC News' morning Sunday show, and they had a woman, and I think you saw a clip of this too, that had worked for the Trump administration as a spokesperson during the first Trump one. And she had said that like the thing that Donald Trump was able to do that's different than other conservatives is that he brought forth people that weren't policy-oriented people. They weren't your traditional Republicans. They were interested in the deep state. They were interested in Epstein.
The moon landing.
The moon landing. She said that like you, and they were interested in things that they felt the government, essentially the theme is these are people that were not maybe interested in a flat tax or conservative fiscal policies, but they were interested in
people who think the government's lied to them.
Exactly right. Yeah, these
people
are the
who don't trust the government.
And those are the voters that came out and that hadn't before that supported Donald Trump. I was listening to something on the way over here, and it was a guy that had like voted Democrat forever, but the fact that Trump said he was going to attacked this Epstein thing, said, oh, now I'm voting for Trump because I want to know about this because I feel like the government is lying to me. And so they voted for Trump because of that. So there's a lot of those people are the ones that like they feel like they put him in office to do these things. And
the vaccine injured,
right,
bringing on RFK and knowing that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He garnered support there. All of these issues where people feel like they can't trust their government. Yeah. And that's what I believe put Donald Trump over the top in this election, and why he was able to secure every single swing state.
Mm-hmm. And win the popular vote.
Which
a Republican has not done since 2004. It's been 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, and you just don't hear of that happening often, but I think that's how much these issues people are concerned with. And he's got to step back for a moment. I don't care if his name is on that list or not. He needs to release the list, because it's not going, this attention that this is garnering is not going to stop. It's not going to go away, because the people who have put him in this powerful position are not going to be satisfied until we get answers.
Yeah, I think this is a real political problem in the long run for the MAGA movement, I guess you would say, like how they're going to stay together if this is not done. Now, Donald Trump, obviously, he can only be president for 3.5 more years, but who carries a torch from him?
I've seen some Trump 2028 t-shirts.
I don't know if you're going to see as many of them now. It looks like they're pretty, MAGA's pretty upset with him over this, the specific issue.
Because we've seen several of the MAGA base call it. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene's called it out.
Tons of people. I can't. This is because for years, obviously on the left, Democrats are always like, "What's the issue that's going to turn MAGA against him?" There's always been this issue. He does this. He does that. They don't care. I never thought that it would be this. Like, this is the issue. The Epstein thing was that, because Epstein always seemed like something on the fringe to me. Like nothing. Me, I don't pay attention to conspiracy theories anyway.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the Democrat base doesn't and didn't, and said as much. Said, "Oh, that's crazy. That's
sure." I mean,
and now they're all about it, though.
Well, yeah, because they're like, "Oh, it's hurting Trump," so like we're going to jump on that bandwagon. And of course, the Democrats are grifting as much.
Oh
as
yeah, there's a list. We know there's a list, and Trump won't release it.
It's pretty funny. It's comical now. The Democrats like, yes, there's a list. Epstein was a pedophile, and because now they're like, for all these years, you guys had this conspiracy theory against Democrats that they had been on this list and that it was a Democrat list. Well, okay, if it was, why is it not released? You'd think definitely the Trump administration would want that out there if it was all these high, powerful, rich Democrats on this list. Well, now we know that's not necessarily true. There may be some high, powerful probably is. I mean, but there's also some conservatives on there, and somebody's hiding something.
A theory that I've heard is, what if it's our very conservative Supreme Court justices?
I've not seen. Have you seen? I haven't seen that one yet. Is that true?
I mean, that's just a theory that someone has said.
Like Clarence Thomas is on the list now. That will make my day. Actually,
that would be a reason. But that would be a reason why the MAGA administration would not want to release that, because they want to keep their conservative Supreme Court, because that's who's going to decide all these big cases.
That's an interesting one. I've never heard that yet. I have to look that up.
We got to go to our first commercial break. If you want to call in, I'm trying. I hope that Sean is watching the phone line. I don't know that he is. He's not very detail oriented.
If you ever notice, everything about me is wrong. Anybody listening to the show,
if you want a lawyer, he's great.
Yeah, that part I'm good at. But everything else.
But the number is 601-879-0002. I'll try to make sure he sees it over here from my side. But
yeah, I'll look. Maybe we should take that little cup off of it, and everybody okay.
No, that's supposed to make you be able to see it better. The blue light when it lights up.
Well, anybody wants to call in to talk Epstein with us, we will back to the next segment, because we're going to go into this for another segment. We got some other topics for you, and we'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back with Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay. That was better, right?
1039 WYAB.
Yeah.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wasilowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
Dr. Bobby C. Pankey and Associates proudly welcome optometrists Mary Lou Puglisi and Dylan Pankey to their team of eye care professionals. Both share Optical 2000's commitment to offering you and your family the highest quality eye care, blending state-of-the-art technology with personalized service. After your eye exam, step next door to the optical shop, which features select frames, Gucci, Tom Ford, Calvin Klein, Lacoste, Maui Jim, Scott Harris, Michael Ryan, and others. Optical 2000 in Clinton and Richland.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness, and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives.
Welcome back to Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay, where we're rapping about the Epstein drama, which seems to never end, even though the President of the United States is literally begging for it to end, and it doesn't seem like it is. Speaking of not ending, Lindsay, it was there was what's that conservative meeting they got for Turning Point USA? They had a big conference this weekend.
Yeah, it was their teen summit, so it was for the teenagers, and even the teenagers they were interviewing were saying, "Oh, we definitely think that he should release this list."
Yeah, it's there was and also the conservatives MAGA stars were all there. Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly, Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, all saying the same thing, that this is a big deal, Mr. President, and you need to listen to it. They said that sidelining these concerns could, risk losing up to about 15% of his base, which is obviously very significant if that were to happen.
I just got an email notification saying that Trump says he spoke to Bongino after his reported absence from work on Friday. I wonder how that conversation went.
Maybe he gave him some merch. He likes to do that. He's like, take this.
Here's a new
take
MAGA
this
hat.
Trump perfume, and will you please stay? Please stay.
That's a statue of myself.
That's a statue of myself. Yeah, it's just like, you could be here. with me forever. Just don't leave. You can't leave me, Dan.
I will throw you in the Alcatraz with the alligators if you try.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bongino, Patel, Bondi are like on their way or en route to Alligator Alcatraz for doing this to the administration. And that's the other thing about it, though. So there's a lot. I wanted to mention that there's a lot of, Pam Bondi, even at this turning point. I remember I saw Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk say, well, who do you want out? And everybody was like, Bondi. Bondi's taking the most hate. And I think a lot of that has to do with that influencer thing that happened at the White House with the Trapper Keepers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, when she gave that infamous Fox News interview now where she said
the file is sitting on my desk.
It's sitting on my
desk.
Or
she said, I don't know if she said file or list, but she was asked about the list. Have you seen the list, or do you agree there is a list? And she said, it's sitting on my desk.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard now to recant that. And then I think it also is a big deal the way that it was handled. What was it, Zydeco? Who? Yeah, they just put it out to some
website or something?
Yeah, so some website instead of actually like holding a press conference and saying, hey, we were wrong. We have researched it as much as we can. And we don't see a list like we were made to believe that there was.
Right.
I mean, why not do something like that? Be more transparent. I say all the time, I know people probably get tired of hearing me say it, but transparency breeds trust. And that felt very fake and very rushed and very much like they were hiding something.
It does. And I just wanted to back up for a moment when I was talking about with the turning point and, the screams for Pam Bondi's resignation, or, just it seems like she's the scapegoat that everybody wants to use here. And for those obvious reasons where she said those things, it's on my desk and the influencer thing. But here's my point about this. If there's a list, right, the president can order her to, she works for him. She works for the president of the United States. The president of the United States can say, you're going to release that. I'm the president. You're going to do what I say. He can do that. But what he's doing is he's defending her, which makes me think that the administration.
Well, it makes me think that he's told her not to release it.
I think that's the only way you can look what happened. There's no way that didn't happen. Because it's no way, Pam Bondi doesn't have if the president says you're going to release it, she's going to have to do it because he's the president of the United States. She's not going to have the authority to just say, no, I'm not going to do it. Heck what Donald says or Kash Patel or whoever. Like they're going to have to listen to their boss. And that's why I think he's taken up for her. And with that Saturday tweet where he's like, she's fantastic because she said, okay, I think they went to her and said, you're not releasing this. Like for whatever reason. And we've speculated, ad nauseum how many reasons there could be. But for whatever reason, the White House told her, you're not going to do it. Then that's who you should blame, not Pam Bondi, because she's doing what she's told. If he told her to release it, I bet you she's gonna be like, here you go. I mean, she's.
Well, I think Trump has taken some of the blame.
Yeah, he is. I know he definitely is. I think so for sure. Because that's that's who has the power to do it. So it's not really Pam Bondi. I mean, she's the attorney general who works for the president, and she does what she's told. So if it was to be released, she'd do it if he told her to do that. If he said, look, if he was my boss and he said, don't release it, I work for the president, I'm going to do what he says and take the heat. And that's what she's kind of doing here. And I think.
But I mean, also if that were the case, then she knows that he's going to protect her.
Yeah.
Which is what he's doing. I mean, that's what we're seeing happen. So it almost seems pretty evident that, he must have made the call. Hey, we're not going to release this.
Yeah, I think that's for sure. It's got to be, the buck stops there always. It always stops with the president, no matter who the president is. I think they're going to have to be more, public outcries, especially from MAGA, because that's who he really does care about. You could tell that by the Truth Social that he put out.
My guys and gals.
Yeah, he's really bothered by this, so they need to keep putting pressure on him to do it, one way or another. There needs to be more of an explanation than just like, oh no, nothing exists. Even though this whole narrative has been shucked by the right for years. So this is all a lie. Like I don't believe that it was. I mean, I think there actually is a list and there's a lot of things they're not telling us about the situation, which I was unsure before this. I was like, I don't know.
No, come on. I have turned you into a conspiracy theorist and you know it.
No, I mean, now I am, because I'm like the way they're just out there saying, oh, there's none, there's no list, there's no nothing. Like you've like Patel, Bongino, especially, you guys have pushed this.
But why was there ever a phase 1 if there was never going to be a phase 2? Like, why would you not go through that file extensively before you have a big party in a phase 1 being released if you know there's nothing else and you know that you're not going to release anything else?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if there's not this treasure trove of documents that you say do exist, and you say that a list does of some sorts, whether it's like an itemized list or it's just files with people's names, it's something like that, then you're saying it's on your desk. So at some point you had it or you saw it, unless we're to believe her ridiculous explanation at that cabinet meeting where she's like, I meant the file was on my desk. So did you mean like the file's probably pretty big and your desk is however large? Did you have was it digitized, or did you have that little stacks of files? I think she meant she had names of people is what I'm trying to get at on her desk to review of like who we could release, who we could not.
I mean, that's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is what is breaking that.
What's
it was going to, okay, maybe that's not it. I was trying to find where it says that Donald Trump just made a statement somewhere about what he talked with Dan Bongino about.
I assume asking him to stay, wouldn't it? To stay within. I mean, I think he would. I think he probably doesn't want to lose people over, because the other problem, Lindsay, when you lose people over this, people start talking to the media. I mean, Bongino gets back on his show and starts saying, because he's going to sell. He's going to sell a lot of ads if he gets on there and says, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. I was in the administration for 6 months and I was told to hide the Epstein information.
And people will believe that.
They're going to totally believe it. I mean, he's going to make a lot of money saying that. And it may be true. I mean, it may actually be true.
Kash Patel did put out a tweet yesterday saying that he wasn't going anywhere and that that it is a conspiracy theory and that he's not going anywhere. It's an honor to serve in Donald Trump's administration, and he will be there as long as the president allows him to be. But, I feel like that's a little bit of backtracking from the things we were hearing on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, I mean, there was some thoughts because of that whole Bongino thing that Kash Patel would be on the way. I feel like Kash and Bongino are just kind of linked, though. Like, if one goes, the other's going to have to go. Like, I don't know how Kash stays around without Bongino. I mean, they're kind of like Laurel and Hardy. Like, I just don't know how they stay one without the other, because they both were pushing this for years. You know what I mean? They've both been pushing this for years. Like
Laurel and Hardy.
Anyway, I'm old, Laurel and Hardy. Anyway, never mind.
Is that Hardy Boys?
No, that's not. It's something else. Anyway, it's an old person reference, Lindsay. I know you make fun of me. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Okay, whatever. You'll have to Google it at the break. It was, yeah, exactly. But anyway, so my point is what's called Oscar and Felix, is that old reference too? I guess the Odd Couple. They're linked. They're linked at the hip, and I don't think you got one with the other.
Jack and Diane,
whoever. Think of people linked at the hip. Give me a modern reference, I guess. And I think it's gonna be hard for them to one without the other, because they have stuck together on this Epstein narrative for so many years.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly. You're gonna keep trying to, the white stuff and the Oreo cookie, right, or whatever it is. Everything they are together. They're not like
peas and carrots.
Not like peas and carrots, like Jenny and Forrest. They're not like in a gay way or anything either. I'm just saying they're like linked on this one narrative that they've pushed for years in the conservative ecosphere that's been out there. So I don't, I think that you might see that if though, I'm telling you, if Bongino goes though, he looks like he's ready to start talking. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't look happy. He's like emotionally invested in this Epstein thing for so many years. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be, somebody's going to pay for the first Bongino interview. Think about
I was going to say, even if he stays like in 3.5 years, what's he going to say when he's no longer in the Trump administration?
Yeah, it's going to be like, we're breaking on whatever podcast, conservative podcast. Dan Bongino is going to spill the insides to the Epstein mess, and they're probably going to pay him for this, a lot of money for just this interview that he's going to give, and he's going to give it all over the country, talking, and he's going to rile up those crowds that all believe this anyway. And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying he's going to get out there and what was the dynamics behind keeping this information secret. So, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting thing. I'm excited to see how far this goes, and we'll see that. We're gonna, I think we're gonna move on from the Epstein topic and try to shift over to like the immigration stuff that happened in California this weekend. One, the farm worker died, and we will definitely love to take your calls over in the next segment, and just join us back on Crossing
601-879-0002. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook, streaming live right here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios of Mississippi, WIB.
.1039 WYAB.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
I'm Sean Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
Peace, love, and pizza. Happy Collie Days from Johnny's Pizza House. Try our new cauliflower crust today. 10 inches of crunchy good vibes for a limited time only. Groove on in and share a slice today. Peace, love, and pizza from Johnny's Pizza House.
Win free pizza for a year this summer at Johnny's Pizza House. Your pizza's already a work of art. Now, let it win you free pizza for a year. Just snap a pic with your favorite pizza and enter to win at johnnysph.com/share-my-slice. Peace, love, and pizza at Johnny's Pizza House.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
CBS News Brief. President Trump today threatened near 100% tariffs on Russia's trading partners if there's no deal to end the invasion of Ukraine within 50 days.
I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there.
Trump didn't give specifics on how the tariffs would be implemented. The investigation continues into the cause of a fire at an assisted living facility in Fall River, Massachusetts, that killed 9 people last night. Fire Chief Jeffrey Bacon.
Crews were met with heavy fire coming through the main entrance and multiple people hanging out the windows looking to be rescued.
European trade ministers met today to talk about Trump's surprise announcement of 30% tariffs on the EU. Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Rasmussen.
We are dealing with a counterpart who is, to put it diplomatic, not as predictable as one could wish.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Malone is a company in motion, striving daily to improve the way the roofing industry operates and is perceived. A leader in commercial and residential roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. Malone means the highest quality materials delivered with expertise workmanship from a claim or construction. At Malone, you found your roofing and metal walls partner. Malone has proven for generations there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you. More info at ecmalone.com.
If you don't see the rock, you better keep on rolling.
Ken here with Rapid Oil Change. Do you drive a vehicle under a fleet program? Let Rapid Oil Change help. We specialize in local and national maintenance programs. With parts in stock for most makes and models, our goal is to minimize fleet downtime. Contact us at 601-919-8474.
Rapid Oil Change, where you should be going. If you don't see the rock, you better keep on rolling.
If you're a parent or grandparent, you should know that even though Mississippi is ranked as the unhealthiest state in the country, we have the highest vaccination rate for our children and grandchildren. Many of us blindly trust the medical establishment, and now it's time to question vaccine safety. Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights is a grassroots organization working to educate the public and lawmakers about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
come together.
And we're back on Crossing the Aisle, talking about Jeffrey Epstein this whole show, which has been, one of the biggest topics. I was about to say hugest in honor of the president there, but or hugest topics right in the country right now going on, and everybody is, I guess, a little bit disturbed about how it's played out, especially the MAGA base that has followed this thing for so long, and who's been really, really interested in the outcome of it.
And I think I did just teach him how to answer the phones.
Yeah,
maybe.
I gotta look for the blue light that's shining there, and that means I have to have attention to detail, which I have none. I get laser focus. The problem, y'all, on things, and I guess that's what kind of makes me a decent lawyer, where I just focus on the one thing and I get it done correctly. But but when there's a bunch of things going around, it's not my strong suit. For sure. But somebody called in, though, and I really appreciate the call at the break, talking about, do you think that they're blackmailing these people on the list and they're waiting to collect the payments, so they're like, we don't release it until we get all the money. I was like, that's an interesting theory. See, I love all these different theories because nobody really knows what I mean, because that is a valuable information. I mean, who's got it and who could potentially what they can use it for. So I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that could happen. I don't know. What do you think, Lindsay? Does it think it's a blackmail scheme?
I mean, I think it very well could be. I mean, what if there are some people who know they're on the list and they're saying to the administration, hey, if you won't release it, then I'll do this and this and this and
give you some more money. And I mean, who knows? Because there's
obviously a lot of powerful people, I'm sure, powerful names on that list.
I know there's been all this talk about Israeli connections and whatnot, but sometimes what I always like to subscribe to what's called Occam's razor. Like the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. And here, to me, it seems like to me that sorry, the mics were up pretty loud right there, weren't they? It seems to me that the easiest explanation here would have been that there's names from both parties on that list. That seems the most simple thing to me is true.
Yeah.
That there's Democrats and Republicans, there's super powerful people who doesn't matter. They're so rich they don't care what the political party is because they just own them both. Like there's that group. And I think that's what it is. It's like a mutually assured destruction kind of situation.
Do you know what I heard on the radio this morning?
What?
That Elon Musk can spend $34 million in one day, and it's the equivalent of us spending about $25.
Really? Was that today?
Yeah, I heard that today.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's interesting to know.
Isn't that crazy?
That must be nice to be that. That's why you can afford all that ketamine and get high and get on Twitter and attack.
But can you imagine, like, what I spend $25 on would be like him spending $34 million?
Yeah, that's like what I spend at the convenience store next door when I'm buying like Coke and like a Quest bar on the way over.
I mean, that's just wild. I can't even imagine how much money that is.
That's quite a bit. That's a lot of money. It'd be nice. I guess that's why you can, again, do a lot of mushrooms and ketamine and act crazy and do whatever you want because you've got that amount of money and people listen to you still. Like if it were me or you acted like that on Facebook or Twitter, we'd probably be ostracized and never unemployable or all that kind of stuff. So, but if you've got $34 million is $25 to you, then you are set for life. And you can do whatever you want to.
Yeah,
So
I would imagine so.
They're not blackmailing. I mean, Elon could be on the list and he wouldn't care because he's like, I've got this much money, so it doesn't really matter if I'm on the list. Who cares?
Yeah.
And nobody's going to do anything anyway. So we're
I imagine if you had that much money, you probably would not be facing any ICE agents, even if you did come into the country illegally.
No. I mean, that's why Trump was trying to sell those citizenship gold cards or whatever for rich foreigners that wanted to come here. And then I think they just said that wasn't legal, but he was like, I think you pay like $5 million and you get to be a citizen or some deal like that he had. Did you see that?
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if he's serious or if he's joking. Sometimes I don't know.
I mean, it's really not that bad of an idea when you think about it. Like if you're a rich person that wants to be an American citizen and we could, raise revenue that way. I don't really hate that idea that much. I mean, I know people are like, oh, that's unfair because all these, and my family, obviously, my father came here and was not wealthy at that time because he was 18. But if we could get some money from the rich ones, I don't know if that's such a bad deal, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know.
So speaking of that, on that topic, we are going to shift over to some immigration. There was stuff that happened in California this weekend regarding an ICE raid on a farm. I think it was a cannabis farm And I know people have been saying, oh God, it's just a marijuana farm, but it is legal in California. And that farm has been open for quite a while.
What's not legal is to have minors working there, which they did.
Did they? I didn't see that.
Yes, they absolutely did.
Were they undocumented minors too? Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks.
So, for all of those people who are protesting these raids, I mean, that's also another reason why they need to go into places and make sure that things like that are not happening, that you don't have minors working in these factories and farms.
Yeah, that sucks. I agree with you. Like, I don't like that at all. I mean, because let's just be honest, what they're doing with undocumented immigrants at these farms is essentially treating them like indentured servants, which is a nice way of saying slave. I mean, that's really what it is. I read that the average farm worker makes like $18,000 a year. I mean,
how do you even survive on that?
Yeah, and that kind of backbreaking work that you're doing. And that's why these the farms are like, well, we can't find American citizens to do that. Well, no S. I mean, I get you can't, because no American citizens, like, I'll go over to Wendy's and work there. Like, I'm not working at the farm and making $18,000 a year. So, but that's the other thing. This is kind of cliche, and the argument's made a lot. We don't do anything about the employers. Republicans, Democrats, we do not care about the people hiring undocumented. Those people are like,
well, I think there should be some sort of penalty.
Yeah.
A fine or something. Yeah, there were 10 minors detained.
God, that's horrible, man. I mean, see, the stuff like that really, we might have a little bit of different perspective on immigration or positions, but that, I think everybody should agree, like, we're not having children doing slave labor on a farm,
right?
Which really what it is. When you look at the kind of work they're doing, it's really hard, and they're getting paid nothing to do it. And they know they can. The employers know they can do that, because they're like, well, I guess we can call ICE, or we can. There's always this threat of that. So
what makes me angry are the citizens of California who go up there and protest this, because what ICE is doing is not illegal. They are going in somewhere where they have found that there are people who are breaking the law. Obviously, they had minors working there. They were illegal. They came here illegally. They go in there to figure out exactly how many are illegal and how many are minors. And they have these citizens who are protesting them and causing this huge chaotic event, so much so that, from what I understand, one man jumped off of a house trying to get away fast.
That's the one that broke his neck.
And he died.
But I don't know if that was the result of the protest.
Well, I mean, they just made everything so much more chaotic.
I mean, I think I think a raid's chaotic regardless.
But you're putting the ICE agents in their lives in danger. It's just like, go home, sit down, and shut up, and just follow the law. It's not that difficult. Don't break the law. Do not think you can break the law and not be punished for it. It's that.
So we should
simple.
be locking up people working on farms and Home Depot. That's what you think?
If they broke the law, there needs to be a process for them to make it right, or either go back.
I mean, the thing is, to that same vein, I was going to read. So Politico came out with an article discussing this all this weekend and the breakdowns of all that. I mean, and it is the support for mass deportations has plummeted to 38% right now because of all these actions that the public is seeing. The things because when it was sold during the campaign, it was all like, we're going to get the criminals out. We're going to do that thing. And now
I don't think so. I think it was very clear.
Well,
Trump was very, very clear that he was going to rid the country of people here illegally. I mean, he said that over and over and over. He never said just the criminals.
Well, I mean, that was the main focus of it, though, was the criminals.
Well, yeah, because they came here illegally, and that's how those criminals got here.
But people weren't thinking about it that way.
He was against all people who came here illegally.
But people were not looking at. They were looking at. You're talking about the criminals, and they pushed the gang members and all that stuff. Now because of these actions, the public is shifted so heavily in favor against these raids. Now you've got only 38% of the public that agrees with it. Only 38% now are agreeing with this, according to the new
I don't know where they get that number.
Well, I mean, you can see it everywhere, Lindsay. You can see it even like the podcasters that supported Trump, like Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz, and now they're all speaking out against it. Like, there's people that don't like this. Like, it wasn't what they believed they were voting for. Now, there's some people that did vote for it, and they like it, and I get that too. But there's a lot of people that were supporting them that don't agree with it.
It's just very simple. Don't break the law.
Well, I mean, it's just
don't break the law. You don't have to worry about it. If you don't do something illegal, you don't have to worry about it. Period.
Okay, and look, if you want to take that hard line approach, that's fine. That's all, and you are in that 38% of the public that agrees with that, and that's fine that you agree. That's what you want. That's the way you want to go and have that. I would call it almost a draconian, position on it. But
No, that's saying you need to not break the law is draconian.
No, I mean, because these people are coming here and working at Home Depot, so we need to go send raids to get them.
You're saying to me that because I say you need to follow the law, that's draconian.
No, you're saying you're okay with these Home Depot raids. And
I'm saying you don't have anything to worry about if you don't do something illegal. Sean, you're a lawyer. You know you can't just break the law and then think that there's not going to be any pushback or punishment for it.
Well, apparently there is right now, and it's also getting a political backlash because it's going to get dropped even lower and lower. Now, because of this also, the new numbers shift from 64% Americans viewed immigration positively last year during the campaign 20. Now it's 79% because people are so disgusted with what is going on.
You know what I'm disgusted by?
What?
The border being wide open for 4 years.
Well, it's not now. And now you've got this issue, this going on. These people getting, ripped away from their families and who are just here working, who are not criminals.
They broke the law.
That's your position.
That's what, Sean, that's not my position. That is a fact. If you break the law, you're a criminal.
Okay.
That is a fact.
And so the guy working at Home Depot is
I'm not making that up.
The guy that's working at Home
If
Depot
he broke the law, yes.
He's a criminal.
If he broke
that goes
the
on,
law.
been here for like 20 years.
If he broke the law, then yes.
Well, we just going to have to agree to disagree. And
so you're telling me somebody who breaks the law is not a criminal?
I don't think these people trying to provide for the families are criminals. I think the criminals that are here are criminals, but not these people.
Even though they broke the law? That's
what I believe. Yeah, that's correct. That's what I think. I think they were seeking a better life, and they're working at Home Depot for 20 years, and this guy's now a criminal. I mean, I don't agree with that point at all. And the majority of the American public agrees with me. So, I mean, we'll see how the electoral consequences of this.
It's very much a fact that if you break the law, there's repercussions to it.
Apparently there are, and there's going to be political ones, I believe. And we will finish this on the last segment for Crossing the Aisle. We'll see y'all back just in a few minutes.
.1039 WYAB.
Friday mornings are special here on 103.9 WYAB. That's when we hit the pause button on the stressful issues of the day and enjoy interesting conversation and terrific music by some of the most outstanding artists in the world, all from Mississippi. I'm Jim Thorne, inviting you to join us every Friday morning at 9 for That's What's Happening's Blues and Arts Hour, made possible by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, and presented by one-of-a-kind, locally owned Fusion Coffee House, Highland Colony Parkway, Ridgeland.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for two things: window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Hey, this is John with MES. That's Mississippi Energy Services. We sell, service, and install all makes and models of home and business generators. One thing that we do different than a lot of other companies is we do all the work ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We go from the original estimate, the design, to the final product. That way we can control the quality of the job from the beginning to the end. We are online at msenergy.us.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on 1039 WYAB. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here on 1039 WYAB each Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Proudly serving southeastern United States. Come see me, Jamie Creel, Ridgeland and Flora, Shelter Insurance.
Come together.
Welcome back to Crossing the Aisle. This is our last segment, and we'll have I guess another show for you tonight at what, 7? I guess we're starting at 8 tonight. We're doing 8 because we're trying to mess with the schedule a little bit. Lindsay's got school concerns coming up here because everybody starts school now, like in the first week of July is what it seems like, which is ridiculous.
The last week of July.
Well, I know, I'm just kidding, but I mean, I just remember school starting I thought it was September.
It used to be very late August, and then every year it seems to like have crept up a little closer to July. And of course, now they're starting at the end of July. So
isn't that because of you were telling me the other day, so because all the new breaks that we didn't have when we were younger, like they give
they've started doing more breaks, which it works for some people because there are, especially I think it's a good thing for children with special needs because it keeps them more on a schedule. And so I see that side of it, but it's also tough for parents because summer goes by so fast. But I guess we're going to have to do another show on the immigration talk because it seems like we've hit a nerve with some people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure most people are on your side. I have no doubt, except for my mother who did text in and say, agree with me.
I mean, just why do we have laws if we're not going to enforce them? What good is it to have laws?
We don't. There's a lot of laws we don't enforce.
But
I mean,
I don't agree.
I don't know why this one.
I don't agree with that either.
So we first of all, we don't enforce any laws against people that employ undocumented immigrants because it's all about the rich people and their businesses. It's not about,
but I'm not for that either.
But we don't do anything about that. Not one thing.
I think that should be where we start.
But we never. People have been saying that for 20, 30 years, and we never started that. Why don't we always go to the poor guy that's family's poor that's just here to try to make a living? We attack him, but we don't ever attack.
But we have talked about this to nauseum, and I agree that we should come up with some sort of process where the people who are here, maybe illegally, but they are working, they are paying taxes, they're not violent, they're not criminals. We should come up with some sort of way to put those people in a group and give them a way to get to citizenship rather than just deporting them and shipping them back. But I don't know how we do that. I think that's a great idea. Maybe we should talk to Trump about implementing it.
Well, I mean, that's something they're working on right now. And even they got those numbers now. It's 78% of Americans believe in a pathway for those immigrants that are here.
Well, hopefully that will happen. Hopefully that will happen soon.
And I mean, yeah, hopefully it will. And hopefully we'll actually prosecute a business in somebody's lifetime. But we'll catch you tomorrow on Crossing the Aisle.
Same time, same place. See you then.